just the conversation that the Attorney General and I just had a moment ago. Our backgrounds are very similar in that we're both prosecutors for a long time, and we're both remarking about how an event like this is really refreshing for us. You know, we were in the business for a long time of catching bad people and putting them in jail, and this really represents an opportunity to celebrate something we've been able to help build, which is a very different proposition and one that is just as gratifying, if not more so. It only is possible, it can be possible with a great team effort. I won't go through the list of names again, but let me thank first of all TRI for your efforts, for Joe's efforts as the general contractor, for DHCD's efforts, and Aaron Gorstein is here today with us, and he'll be speaking in a moment. Joe Flatley from Mass Housing as well, Judy Jacobson from the Massachusetts Housing Partnership, and of course Attorney General Martha Coakley. A great team effort, and you know, this to me, as I was on my way over here, hearkened to some of the things that I've been saying as mayor, my time as mayor over the last few months. What we're trying to achieve here in New Bedford is to become, in effect, a city of choice, a place where people choose to live. People who could live elsewhere decide that New Bedford is where they want to settle roots, where they want to send their children to school, where they want to grow up and live the American dream. And it's necessary for us to approach it this way. Cities prosper when they give people a reason to live within their borders, and cities die when they don't. And what we're trying to do is to start with the basics, and the basics are really to rebuild neighborhoods. We've talked in recent weeks about one of the many tools, some of the many tools that we have to rebuild neighborhoods. You know, for me, again, as a former prosecutor, a lot of it is enforcing the rules that we have on the books to make sure that we have a housing code that is effectively enforced and consistently enforced, and enforced in a way that makes a difference, so that landlords clean up their properties, that we have good living conditions for tenants as well as for owners. Because one property going downhill puts a strain on an entire neighborhood and puts a strain on the quality of life in that neighborhood and the city generally. What distinguishes cities from other places is that obviously people live in close proximity, so when one property goes downhill, it affects everybody, and that's really what's at the heart of the receivership program. We need to do neighborhood revitalization on a property-by-property basis. It means at times better enforcement, but it also means at times that we ought to rebuild. And this is an instance of a really strategic rebuilding. This is a significant property. It was a blighted property in an otherwise stable neighborhood. As you can tell from the inside, the craftsmanship in this house reflects a time when this neighborhood was really prosperous. It continues to be stable. Much of my family lived in this neighborhood for a long time. Some still do. The houses are beautiful here, but it just takes one to get run down to push the others into a bad point of devaluation and of further blight. So what we've had here really is a team effort to rebuild here, to put not just a fresh coat of paint on, but to really make it an appealing property for anybody looking for housing. Sometimes in the receivership program, we're looking at home ownership, reestablishing owner occupancy. In this instance, we've set up a terrific two-family house that will be here hopefully for generations to come. And I just want to say that I'm just pleased to be here, and that this is with the effort that we've all undertaken here. And just want to say thanks to the Attorney General in particular for her efforts in making the receivership program a success here in New Bedford. It will continue to be a big part of our neighborhood revitalization strategy. Steve Marshlick's done a terrific job in spearheading it in the local AG's office. We look forward to a continued partnership and more successes like this one. Now, with that, let me turn it over to I think Aaron, you're on deck. Well, so she was flipped.
All right, good.
Flipped in the lineup.
I was certainly willing to
She insisted on batting cleanup today.
Happy to go second.
Aaron,
okay.
from DH.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And on behalf of the governor and lieutenant governor, I just want to commend the Attorney General for her national leadership on foreclosure issues. Just spectacular what she's been able to accomplish, working with the administration, what we've all been able to do over the past few years. And we're certainly not out of the woods yet with the foreclosure crisis, and there's a lot of work left to do. But this is just a great example of how we can turn this into an opportunity, a home ownership opportunity, get properties back on the tax rolls, get them reoccupied quickly, help stabilize the neighborhoods. And I know the Attorney General understands that whole community development approach as well as the new mayor, and we appreciate that. But to keep the momentum going, I'm here to announce on behalf of the governor a $300,000 grant from the Neighborhood Stabilization Program for another property about a mile away on purchase. And we have the utmost confidence in the mayor that that's going to be spent wisely and effectively and quickly, and getting more home ownership opportunities to the city will just be fantastic. The Neighborhood Stabilization Program has funded approximately 1,300 units of affordable housing, both rental and home ownership, around the state, the federal program, and I'd be remiss if I didn't thank Congressman Frank for his incredible leadership. We would not have an NSP program without the congressman, so if we can give the congressman a hand. So we look forward to doing more work here in the city with the Attorney General as we move forward to help stabilize more neighborhoods around the Commonwealth. So thank you very much.
Yes, I forgot my role as MC today. Let's see, batting next, the on deck circle is, I'm sorry, Joe Flatley from Mass Housing. Joe, thank you.
Well, good morning. It certainly is great to be here. I'm president of an organization called Mass Housing Investment Corporation. We're a private nonprofit, and we manage the Neighborhood Stabilization Loan Fund, which was set up in conjunction with Mass Housing Partnership. To date, we've invested over $60 million in properties like this around the state. About half of that, more than half of that, is through the federal NSP program. So we've been able to do this with the cooperation and support, really, of local groups, with the support of the receivership program, which has gotten key properties like this, which are problematic, and mostly in partnership with the folks at the local level. The important thing about this, you can look at the aggregate number of units, and all the units have been done, but it happens building by building. It happens one building at a time. And that's what takes all the work. You saw the number of people being congratulated in terms of the partnership on this one project, 2 units. Well, that's kind of what it takes. It takes that kind of effort on a building-by-building basis. And I think the city deserves a tremendous congratulations for its support for this, because it takes a lot of work on the city's part to identify the properties, to get them into the receivership program, and then it takes a developer like TRI to really get it done. And we're so happy to have TRI as a partner, as a borrower of ours. And it's Bruce Ehrlich, who's here in the sunglasses there hiding, who's the one on our staff who really does all the work. But we really just want to congratulate everyone involved, the city, TRI, and the Attorney General. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, next, I'd like to ask Judy Jacobson, who's the Deputy Director of the Massachusetts Housing Partnership, to say a couple of
The only
words.
one that followed directions.
That's quite all right, yeah, go ahead. Making us look bad.
Well, I want to thank Mayor Mitchell and his team, especially Patrick, who we have worked so closely with over the years, for inviting us to showcase the great work they've done in their city and their neighborhoods. All of us at the Massachusetts Housing Partnership are very pleased to be a part of your efforts. I also want to thank Attorney General Coakley and Undersecretary Gornstein for their leadership. Both have been tremendous and sustained leaders who have worked very hard over a number of years to address the foreclosure crisis. This work is not for the faint of heart. The foreclosure crisis has proven to be intractable. Urban neighborhoods in cities like New Bedford have been especially hard hit. And at MHP, we get that no one person or organization can solve these difficult problems. The word partnership in our name guides us. And we get it that to stabilize and revitalize a neighborhood, you need a multifaceted approach. That's why my colleague Rita Farrell has been traveling the state, helping municipalities beef up their capacity and marshal the resources of competent and capable organizations like TRI to make effective use of the state's powerful receivership law. This incredible partnership between municipalities, nonprofits, and the AG's office has resulted in the stabilization of over 600 housing units across the Commonwealth. And we knew that receivers and developers like TRI would need financial assistance in order to put properties like 205 Summer into the hands of responsible owners. The statewide Neighborhood Stabilization Loan Fund, ably administered by the nonprofit Massachusetts Housing Investment Corporation. And I really want to acknowledge the terrific work by Joe and Bruce and their team, have stabilized over 450 housing units in the Commonwealth, including 22 here in New Bedford. And when the buyer of 205 Summer looks for financing, one of their options will be the safe and affordable soft second loan program. Thanks to our bank partners and the support of the legislature and DHCD, over 16,000 families in Massachusetts have bought their home using soft second. Educated homeowners with affordable financing are an important stabilizing force in neighborhoods. Since the foreclosure crisis hit in 2007, 110 New Bedford families have become soft second homeowners. And our homeowners are doing well. Soft second foreclosure rates are comparable to prime mortgages, not some prime, and with foreclosure rates well below. Congratulations to the city for all your good work. MHP has been pleased to be your partner in many endeavors over the years, including the revitalization of the beautiful Regency Tower downtown. And we look forward to our continued collaboration.
You can stay up here.
Well, now I'm going down.
Quite all right. Yeah, thank you very much, Julia. We've had a great partnership with your agency, and we look forward to more good projects to come. As I said earlier, it's in redeveloping neighborhoods. It's important to be to approach it property by property, and sometimes it's useful for government to apply the stick, and sometimes to extend the carrot. And with us today is Attorney General Martha Coakley, who has really has the judgment to know which one is appropriate. I mean, it has set up programs. This program has enhanced the program that really gives us a strong carrot, and through her law enforcement efforts in general, also has the stick available too. And so, let me introduce a great friend of New Bedford, Attorney General Martha Coakley.
All right, so everybody's been thanked, and let me add that not even everybody involved in this project is here, so you know what goes into this. There are a lot of reasons why in times when this project could have fallen apart like all of these projects, but they didn't and they don't, and because of the commitment that people make. Speaking about a continuum of problems that we deal with around mortgage foreclosures, we are now, I think, hopefully on the verge of trying to stop unnecessary foreclosures, so we have to have fewer of these properties. We are committed to that in our office. With our settlement with the 5 large banks, we are making sure, and we're going to do that family by family and house by house, that we have fewer unnecessary foreclosures. We're going to work with convince Fannie and Freddie that they should get on board with loan modifications and making sure that we do principal reduction when it's commercially reasonable. We've asked the legislature to, in Massachusetts, say you shouldn't foreclose on a property unless it's commercially reasonable. It seems to make sense, and it would help stop the flow of foreclosures, which I'm convinced, unless we do, we will not turn this economy around. On the other end of the spectrum, we have the kinds of properties like this that we see as a very concrete way that when we do this work, we can start to stem that tide and show to this neighborhood and to New Bedford and to every community in Massachusetts that this is worth saving. This is a house of beautiful bones, great work done in rehabbing it, but most importantly, it's a house that will become a home to not 1 but 2 families here in New Bedford. New Bedford's got a lot of interesting things. I've heard about the harbor being developed. You've got a terrific new mayor with a lot of energy, but he can't do it unless you all say it is worth doing, and that we do this indeed house by house as we work with kid by kid to make sure they're safe. And we do our part. We try to in the Attorney General's office, but we can only do so much. But John is right. This is the favorite thing of all the things I get to do as Attorney General, is to come to a home like this and see the work that's been done. If you haven't looked at the before pictures, you should do that, because you'll see that a miracle has taken place. And the only thing we need, Mike, is a little bit of rain, right, for the grass? And then the grass will be green too, and we will be complete. But the detail on this home, you can tell that this will bring up in the neighborhood. And what we found when we do these these properties, some funny things happen in neighborhoods. People start painting their own houses and the values go up, and it sets a seed that says we are not going to let our windows be broken and fixed. We are not going to let these properties deteriorate. And that's an important message, not just to say, but to show. And this is how we do it, by doing these homes. So we're committed to continuing to work home by home with our office here, with the mayor, with Mike, and with all of our partners on this. And particularly let me thank our banking partners. I know I'm always railing against the big banks, but I want to say that the role that our small community banks, our regional banks, our credit unions have played in our communities on lending credit, on modifying loans has been extraordinary. And I think we are at a point where we can start to turn this around. We will turn this around. But we're not done yet, obviously. But thanks for all showing up today. Again, great job. Joe, you did a wonderful job on this home. And I can't wait to see some families move in here. That's really what it's about. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Good. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you for all your support, and this is a big start to neighborhood redevelopment right here. Thanks a lot.
And Mike baked some cookies also.
Oh yeah.
Not only big bars, but there's refreshments inside, so please.
Yeah, right. Please come on in. Back there.
It's good.